Chapter 7, Double Trouble. Lord Cecil stands in the doorway to Rose's chambers, frowning at you with suspicion in his eyes. I just heard you talking to your mom, who is long since passed. What on earth is going on? I don't have to explain myself to you. My private phone calls are none of your business, along with whatever you think you heard. But I insist. This conversation's over, Lord Cecil. Good day. You push past him and rush down the hallway before he can stop you, looking for the one person you absolutely can trust. Aveline, we've got a problem. I just dodged a conversation with Cecil about why he heard me talking on the phone to my mom. But the queen is... Oh dear. Aveline pulls out her phone and begins texting someone in a flurry of movement. I think Cecil's had it out for me ever since I crashed that council meeting. But if he's gonna hover around me like this until the hunt, could you get me out of the palace for a while? It could be a good to lay low. Your skipper is on its way. I've let Prince Clark know you intend to show him around Monterey's capital today. Aveline, you're a genius. I know, I have a few good ideas every now and then. Try all the time. Then, let's get you into something cute and get you out of Cecil's eavesdropping range. A princess must always have look her best, even on the most last-minute outings. You're right. If Clark can see me, I need to look amazing. I need to put my best foot forward as a princess. Exactly. For the good of Monterey, we must leave Prince Clark speechless. Knowing Clark, that's a tall order. But I'm open to ideas. Aveline rifles through one of the room's garment racks and then pulls an outfit off of it. I recently got this for Rose when she was lamenting her lack of casual wear. Just don't tell her I let you wear it first. It'll be our secret. Talk of the town. How do I look? Like a glamorous yet down-to-earth woman ready for a stroll with a young prince. Now I just need to prepare myself to wander the streets of a city I've lived in for one semester. What if he asks about my favorite spots? I can't just show him Jewel of Art's campus or conservatory. You should take him to Monterey Minute. It's one of my favorite cafes. Secluded, romantic, the food is top-notch. And the best part is that almost nobody knows about it. Meanwhile, across the capital, and that's why this is one of my favorite spots in the city, hardly anyone knows about it. Oh no. You smile across your shared table at Davin as he slides a cup of coffee towards you. Thanks for sharing it with me, and for meeting up after your party. I was seriously about doing an article on the Deltas. Really? Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for underdog stories, and seeing you all together made it obvious how special the house is. I'd love to write about what the Deltas bring to Jewel of Art, especially if it helps you get more pledges. Devin, that's so generous. Just because the school's charter says they can shut your house down doesn't make it right. I want to help out however I can. So you want to write an article to right Jewel of Art's wrongs? I'm a journalist. That's part of the job description. Plus, I have to do a long-form article to complete my grad degree. If I can do the Delta's justice and submit the article to a big paper once it's done, this could mean a lot for my career. Well then, how would this sorority-saving, potentially career-changing article work? I'd like to do a profile on each of the Deltas, starting with you, if you're game. I'm an open book. Or at least I'll try to be without blowing Daisy's cover. Then let's go over the basic facts. Give the reader a sense of the real you. All I really know is that you're from the States. Well, that's right. I grew up in a little town near Cleveland. Dude, you have the all-American family people see in the movies, you know, 2 parents, 5-point kids, dog named Spot. Ugh. I'm actually an only child. It was always just me and my mom. I'm honestly not sure how Daisy felt growing up as an only child, but I do know how I felt. I always wish I had a sister to bond with. Someone I could have told all about my first crush, or someone to keep my secrets. Siblings can be pretty good for that. Were you and your brother always close? Oh yeah, our parents said I latched onto him like a limpet from the day he was born. We did get in the usual fights about borrowing toys or who would pick a movie for movie night, but he's always had my back. Speaking of siblings, I wanted to ask how your Delta sisters have been doing since the big house party. We got several new pledges that night. We've been still down in danger of being shut down for low membership, though. I'll do some research on the school's charter. Really play up the lack of transparency about membership requirements. Do you have any plans for another major house event to help turn the tide? Faye and I are planning a car wash fundraiser to get the donations for the school and our house. Well, listen, we know how that works for women and car washes, but, shh. Admittedly, the last time the Deltas tried something like this, a car apparently caught on fire. I'm sorry, how does water and car... Are they making a play on the electric car crap? Because that's hilarious. They started a fire at a car wash? No one seems to know how it happened, but I've reassured them that this year will be a smash hit with 100% fewer fires. You smile at each other for a moment before Devin returns to his notes. So, when you aren't trying to save the Deltas, what does Daisy Hawthorne get up to? Any hobbies or anyone special in your life? You really think your readers will be curious about that? Maybe not, but I'm curious. As you're about to answer, you glance over Devin's shoulder and see Daisy and Clark walk through the door. I have to admit, Rose, you really pulled out the stops on the whole casual look. Isn't the whole point of casual to not pull out any stops? I was trying to give you a compliment. And I was teasing you. Keep up, Clark. What is Daisy doing here? Everything okay? You look like you just saw a ghost. Devin starts to turn around to see what's caught your attention. Take his hands. I'm not gonna knock over coffee, that's just being a dick. You take hold of Devin's hands and immediately he pauses, turning back to face you with a look of pleasant surprise. I'm fine, I promise. I just wanted to see how much you doing this article means to the Deltas and to me. Devin nods, squeezing your hand slightly. He gently brushes a thumb across the back of your hand, his touch warm and gentle. If it helps save your house, it's the least I can do. Then let's pick up with some more questions after I stop by the bathroom. I'll just be a moment. As you stand up, a horrified Daisy spots you for the first time. Oh no. What was that? I said, could you find us a table while I powdered my nose? The two of you make a beeline across the room, both of you meeting in a secluded booth at the back of the cafe. Rose? Daisy? What are you doing here? I brought Devin here because he's writing an article about the Deltas. Who's Devin? Never mind that. Why are you here with Clark? I'm showing him around the city. I needed to get away from Cecil, and Abilene told me about the cute little cafe. You groan and put your head in your hands. Oh, of course she did. This is one of our favorite spots to sneak out to. Well, I didn't know anywhere else to go except for campus or the conservatory, which is kind of our spot. Could you give me and Clark some space for an hour or so? Why do I have to give you space? But I was here first! Oh my god. Cat fight. Over the edge of the booth, you see Clark glancing around the cafe from his table, and Devin doing the same from your table. We can't debate this forever. One of them is gonna come looking for us sooner or later. Then how about we share the cafe? Carefully. We just can't be seen at the same time. Why? You two literally look different. You're wearing different outfits. And we'll have to make sure Clark and Devin don't see each other or us. We can manage that, right? Of course. We don't exactly have a choice. Unless you want to go back to the palace, because I'm not skipping out on Devin. No way. Clark would tease me about dragging him on the world's shortest city tour for the rest of the season. Then we'll just have to make this work. And I've been here for a while already, so you can go back first and keep Clark's attention. We can do this, Daisy. You take Daisy's hands in yours. Team on 3. 1, 2... This is gonna blow up in her face, isn't it? Team! You hurry back out, passing Rose's friend quickly before sitting opposite Clark and facing away from Rose's table. Sorry for the wait. No apology needed. I've been admiring the decor in this little place. His eyes flicker across your fitted corset as you settle into your seat, and you get the strong feeling that he's also admiring you. I'm glad you see what, or you like what you see. I actually have to thank you for inviting me. I was on the verge of sneaking into the streets just for something to do. You haven't been able to entertain yourself in our giant palace? Well, I've seen the stables, the gardens, trophy room, the other trophy room. One of your guards wouldn't let me in the armory. So, as beautiful as this place, or palace is, a man can't help but eventually want some fresh air. That's why I invited you here. So we can enjoy the fresh air together. Assuming my company isn't too, intolerable for you. Actually, Princess, you're the most least intolerable person I've met in Monterey. He says the words with the most casual wry smile, but it almost sounds like he means it. Such high praise. Try not to let it go to your head. If you're still bored after today, you'll get plenty of fresh air on their annual great hunt, and then you can run around, dig for bones, wag your tail all you want. I'm gonna ignore the implication that I'm a bored puppy and ask what Monterian delicacy you'd recommend here. I suddenly spot Rose at the back booth, making a circular gesture with her finger as she frantically mouths a few words. You can't stay out there forever. We need to switch. You grab your pocket as if your phone just went off. Oh, would you look at that? I have to answer some very important texts from my basket-weaving tutor, the lady-in-waiting, my dad, the king. Royal business waits for no one. You know how it is. Unfortunately, I do. Why don't you look over the menu while I deal with this? Please be my guest. Clark picks up a menu from the table as you hurry for the booth where Rose sits. There you are, Daisy. I was about to come looking for you. Oh god, this is not happening. Just please tell me this is not happening. Did you change while you were looking for napkins? Oh, this old thing? I just had it in my purse. Well, it looks nice. Although you never answered the interview question. This is happening. He gestures for you to take a seat, and you have no choice but to sit down across from him. You might have to jog my memory. It's been a day. Oh my god. You are so doomed. I asked if there was anyone special in your life romantically, I mean. For some reason, your gaze drifts over to Clark before shifting back to Devon. There isn't anyone. Not right now, anyway. Devon's face falls slightly, but he flashes you a smile a beat later. Message received. Sorry for putting you on the spot. He clears his throat, shifting his notes around. So earlier you said you wished you grew up with a sister. I did. Of course I did. I meant it. It is true. Devon makes a note, but you spot Clark across the room, leaning back in his seat and clearly looking for you. Did you have any more questions about the deltas? This is tragic. Just really tragic. Oh dear. You see Prince Clark looking around for Daisy, who's trapped with Devon, which means there's only one thing you can do to help. Daisy's gonna owe me for this. Okay. You square your shoulders, put on your trademark regal smile, and glide over the table. Welcome back. Those must have been some riveting texts. I beg your pardon? You said you were texting your father. Was it something about the hunt? Yes, that was it precisely. Why exactly were we going to owe her? I mean, we literally are getting pulled into this shit. Note to self, inform Daisy about the Great Hunt. Clark nods, his gaze flickering across your distinctly not Daisy hair and outfit, but royal decorum stops him from commenting. I'm surprised to see you involved in traditional or royal traditions like this hunt. I have to admit, you aren't quite what I expected. Most royals I know would have delegated the welcome ball planning to the staff. Hell, I would have if you hadn't been there to twist my arm. Daisy got help? Or got Clark to help? That's practically a minor miracle. I'm just glad we didn't have to plan the hunt together too. No offense, but too much planning interferes with my exercise regimen. The regimen that'll make it a slice of pie to outshowing you on the little hunt. Excuse me? Oh no, pride is getting in the way. All of your lessons in royal tag flash through your mind, along with a burst of indignant Montanarian pride. Clark, you'll eat those words when I destroy you. I've been navigating the royal forest since I was a child, and I'm not about to let you out-hunt me. You glare at Clark, and he grins infuriatingly back. Who said I'd give you a choice on the matter? Well, maybe you should... You suddenly see Daisy get up from her conversation with Devin, and you shoot up from your seat to follow her. Should go order our food while I powder my nose again. Surprise me with whatever you want. I'll try not to disappoint your highness's trust in culinary taste. You quietly rush over to your secluded booth to meet an exhausted-looking Daisy. So, this isn't going as perfectly as I'd hoped. Yeah, now that you've literally and figuratively gone over, you could have been like, sorry, you're mistaken, and walked on into the bathroom. And then she came out like 1 second later, and he would have been like, oh, man, wow, it was weird. I saw someone just like you. But no, now that you've actually said you're her, yeah, no, this is gonna fire in our face. So this isn't going as perfectly as I hoped. You think? I've forgotten how to be myself. The university life has been so freeing, maybe too freeing. Welcome to every college student's crisis of choice. But we can fix this. How about I leave first with Devin, and you'll just have to keep Clark occupied for a few minutes. Oh no, we're screwed. She points across the cafe, and you nearly have a heart attack at the sight of Devin standing beside Clark at the counter. Hey, I recognize you from the news. You're that visiting prince from Ishmar, right? Oh god. Yes, let there be drama. You and Daisy sink behind the cushions of your booth in unison, peeking over the edge just enough to hear what they're saying. It's nice to meet a fan, but at the moment I'd appreciate a little discretion. I get it, paparazzi and all that. I'm Devin, by the way. Clark, just plain ordinary Clark. You look like you know a good local dish or two. What should I order for my lady friend when she returns? This is gonna be a train wreck if we don't do something. Or hear me out. We let it happen, and listen in on what they have to say about us. What makes you sure they're gonna talk about us? Daisy, please. They barely introduced themselves, and Clark asked what to order for you. He did, didn't he? Let me guess, this is gonna be a diamond choice. She bites her lower lip and glances over the edge of the booth, clearly torn. It's risky, but if you think we can do it, I'm in. So far, this has gone over not how you expected, but let's take more risk. Look at him. Look at him, isn't it sparkly? Okay, we can do this. Let's go. Okay, if this backfires, remember that it was your idea. I have a feeling you won't let me forget it. You both peer back over the booth at Clark and Devin, but they've turned away from you and their conversation inaudible. Okay, can you hear anything? Because I'm just getting mumbles. Also, mumbles, we have to get closer. She sneaks up to the booth and gestures for you to follow, edging closer to a table that's closer to the front of the counter. Almost there. As Rose inches around one last booth to the table, she has her eyes on you. You spot a sign warning people not to slip on the wet floor. I'm gonna grab her so she doesn't fall. You grab her arm and pull her away from the patch of wet floor just in time. What are you... Oh, thank you. If I'd fallen, there'd been a lot of very undignified flailing. I figured. You skirt around the wet floor and slide into seats at the table, picking up the menus to hide your faces from view, while you listen to Clark and Devin. They're not gonna notice the outfits? Question mark? So, who's this lady companion you're ordering for? Is that Prince speak for a date? No, we're not together. Though I'll admit that she's much less annoying than I expected, and pretty darn smart. And pretty? What? No, I said pretty smart. Ouch. I'm not sure if I should be offended as you or me. I mean, that is, she's not pretty. She's, for the first time ever since you've met him, Clark looks totally at a loss for words. Look, just forget I said anything. She's just showing me around the capital while I'm in Monterey for the social season. Rose glances at you from behind her menu. Is it just me, or is he was talking about you? Seemed to have gotten the prince a little flustered. Clark seems flustered, didn't he? Not that I care, obviously, but it's nice to know that it's possible to knock that smug grin off his face. I'm sure it is. If you still need to order, I recommend the crepes. We make them extra thin here in Monterey. It's a local specialty. The international diplomacy demands that I try them. As Clark glances at the crepes on the menu, Devin waves over to the barista with a friendly grin. Sasha, right? Could I get 2 more cups of that amazing coffee? Barista nods, and as she moves away to fill the order, Clark gently nudges Devin. 2 cups? I take it you're here with a friend, too? Yeah, I'm interviewing her for the Sorority Sisters for an article. Huh, so you are a journalist a lot less vulture than the paparazzi I usually meet. I aim for minimum vulture levels in my work. Now tell me about this girl you've been interviewing. As they talk, Clark and Devin head further down the counter to wait for Devin's coffee order, putting them out of earshot again. You really need to get better hearing. We need to keep moving. Perhaps you could take the lead this time? You slip out of the chair and head after Clark and Devin, looking around the cafe for cover when a girl at the neighboring table loudly clears her throat. We've been waiting here for 10 minutes and no one's taken our order. Are you gonna get us some food, or do you want me to call your boss? Sorry that you've been waiting so long. What can I get you? Finally, some service. I'll take a large iced sugar-free vanilla latte with soy milk. My friend will have a half-sweet, no-fat, triple caramel swirl. Oh my god. Aren't you gonna write that down? No need. I got a mind like a steel trap. And I expect those orders to go back to the baristas. Of course, we'll be right back. You inch away from their table. Just to be clear, we aren't putting in their orders, right? Absolutely not. They can wait until they learn to treat service workers with more respect. I mean, no offense, but they did wait 10 minutes. Like, when do you... I mean, they didn't really disrespect. They're just like, hey, we've been waiting 10 minutes. This is unacceptable. I'm just saying. I knew I liked having you as my doppelganger. Hang on, is Devin saying something about me? You try to casually lean against a wall closer to the counter, with Rose huddled behind you, catching some snatches of the conversation. My point is that I've been interviewed by many reporters, and even as Prince, and I'm always expecting to buy the cappuccinos. So are you, or are you not here on a date? I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm definitely not opposed, but that's gotta be up to her. Such a gentleman. Rose... I think he likes you. Which kinda means he likes me, which we'll definitely have to unpack later. But how does it make you feel? It's nice to hear someone speak so highly of me, just based on, well, me, not because they know I'm a princess. And Devin is, well, he's wonderful, even if I'm not who he thinks I am, but You're not really... I know, but that doesn't stop things from getting complicated, does it? This whole entire conversation is getting complicated! Sometimes complications are good, like you actually impressing Clark, which puts Monterey and Ishmar one step closer to peace. Let's try not to let the complications get too complicated, okay? You hold out a hand and she shakes it. We'll do our best. You share a grin just as the barista passes 2 cups of coffee to Devon and 2 plates of crepes to Clark. Those smell incredible. Thanks for the recommendation, Devon. Best of luck with the rest of your potential date. I could say the same to you. Clark makes a face and calls back over his shoulder towards Devon as he heads back to your table with the crepes. It's not a date. Sure it isn't. You and Rose exchange a quick look that's equal parts excitement and panic. I guess that's our cue to get back out there, but you were right. Yeah, this was worth the risk. No, it wasn't. Maybe we can do this again sometime. End up in the same spots with Clark and Devon? One time was stressful enough. I meant hanging out together, ideally without juggling all the swap drama. I'd like that. Just give me 2 seconds to get Devon out of here, and then you'll be free to go. Hey, you're back. Feeling any better? Like a whole new me. So, where were we? We were actually at the part where I owe you an apology. What did Daisy say to him? Devon passes a to-go cup of coffee across the table to you, smiling sheepishly. I got too personal with that question earlier. I'm really sorry I was out of line. No, you're fine. I like it when you get personal. It makes me feel like I can trust you, so please trust me when I say not to pay attention to my answer earlier. You're sure? Positive. Devon's shoulders relax, and his whole face lights up with a smile that makes you feel like the most important person in the room. I'm glad to hear that. I feel like I can trust you too. Thanks for the interview, Daisy. It's been great getting to know you better. Likewise, but I should really be going. Perhaps we can pick this interview up another time? Count on it. You both pick up your coffees and head outside. You wave goodbye as Devon heads down the street, leaving you clear to watch Daisy and Clark through the window as they finish their crepes. These were delicious. How'd you guess that the crepes were their specialty? I got some help from a friendly local. He sets his fork down with a sigh. But as much as I hate to cut this short, I do have to... It's okay. Aaron's text made it sound like an emergency. More like what I call an Aaron emergency. He promised to go on a walk through the gardens with 4 dukes and duchesses, and he simply hasn't the arms to do it himself. You duck behind some shrubs as Clark walks Daisy out of the cafe. Good luck saving Aaron from his own social commitments. Thank you, Your Highness. I have a feeling I might need it. Clark politely kisses her hand, which means he thinks he's kissing your hand. Before heading down the street, Daisy waits until he's out of sight, then waves you over. Well, we survived by the skin of our teeth. Okay, so listen, okay? We literally and figuratively swapped outfits back. You remember this, right? Like, we went back and they just completely are just, I don't know, too stupid to realize or what? Like, why don't we talk somewhere a bit less public? 15 minutes later, you're lying on the benches in the room where you taught Daisy how to be a princess. Daisy sighs at the same time that you do. So this whole changing places thing has gotten messier than I expected, and I expected it to be very messy. Maybe I was overly optimistic about our chances of pulling this off. I mean, I don't regret meeting Faye or the other Deltas or Devon or even Poppy, but I do wish I'd thought it through a little more. We've barely had time to get to know each other. Then why don't we fix that now? Abeline's covering for me all day, and none of the Deltas will be surprised if Daisy spends a whole afternoon here. I suppose it would make things easier if we got to know more, we know more about each other's lives. And I want to hear more about you. Things you like, things you hate, how it really felt growing up as a princess. Diamond choice. We should get to know each other properly. Who knows when we'll get another chance? Exactly. We've got to do as much bonding and studying as we can. You get up and perch on the edge of the room's fountain, patting the stone beside you, and Daisy follows suit. What, patting the stone, or... The whole time Devin was interviewing me, I realized just how little I know about your life besides the basics. You told me your mother raised you alone, that you didn't have siblings, but I have no idea what that was like for you. Did you ever wish you hadn't any siblings? I always thought it'd be fun to have a sister. I knew it! Don't get me wrong, my mom's amazing, but it could get, lonely when she was busy with work, especially since my dad was never in the picture. Did she ever tell you anything about him? Daisy plucks one of the flowers beside the fountain, and she shakes her head as she twirls it contemplatively in her hand. Not really, just that they had a short fling ages ago, and when she was traveling. Uh-huh. I'm sorry you never got to know your father. I miss my mother every day, but at least she and my father were there for most of my life. You point at one of the other flowers growing in the room, a bundle of pink petals. Those used to be your favorites. Father had them planted in all the royally sponsored gardens and conservatories. That's so sweet. He seems like he really wants to be a good dad, apart from, the whole stifling you so much you want to leave the palace thing. My father was very different before my mother passed. He was happier and more adventurous. Both of my parents were. If I wanted to go riding all day or visit one of the other royal estates, he wouldn't just arrange it, he'd go with me. He'd have a rope swing installed in the royal garden, and even when I swung so high I fell out, he'd always help me get back up. That is way different from the King Eggman I know. Yeah, well, after Mother died, he decided it was his job to protect me from the world. There were rides, impromptu trips. He cut down the swing the day we buried her. I'm sorry, Rose. It wasn't all bad. I know I'm lucky to have a father at all, and even if he can take it to extremes, he's always been supportive. Here's this Montarian saying that he loved to quote whenever I was struggling with my lessons or court drama. The graceful swan dances on. Cute and catchy, I like it, even if I have no idea what a dancing swan would look like. Maybe it's something like this. I'll do a serious dance, tragic dance, graceful. You spring up from the fountain, pirouette across the flagstones, following the steps of a courtly dance while sweeping your arms around like you have wings. It's all in the footwork. I'm feeling a sudden surge of pride in the flag. Now you try. Daisy stands up and flaps her arms experimentally, looking like nothing like a swan and everything like a chicken. You both burst into giggles. Here we are dancing like swans, and I still haven't learned much more about you. Don't worry, I didn't prepare another biographical presentation for you to memorize. I've been too busy surviving Clark. Then I'm sure you'll have to answer whatever questions I ask as long as you tell the truth. Is this a secret princess thing, or is it against the law to lie to royalty? No, but it would be bad form to lie to the swap partner, not to mention a friend. And lucky for you, I'm an open book. Alright, tell me about your most embarrassing crush, the funniest sleepover moment you've ever had with the Deltas. Deltas thing would be more relevant, but both questions are shit. Daisy frowns, thinking hard, and you're suddenly struck by the thought that that's exactly what you look like when you frown. We don't do many sleepovers. But there was one time the bedrooms were being painted, so we all had to sleep downstairs in the living room, including Poppy. My disaster senses are tickling. Oh, Poppy was a total angel. But at 6 in the morning, when Sophia got up to feed him, let's just say it was a bad time to have people all over the floor. Did she? Yep, tripped over my face, and a bag of frozen mice went flying. I asked for funny stories, not horror. It was hilarious, for everyone except for Astra. Anyway, but she got a frozen mouse stuck on her sleeping bag, so she gets a pass. You both laugh and sit back down on the edge of the fountain, gazing at your twin reflections in the water. So, what about you? Any embarrassing stories? Would you believe if I said my most embarrassing stories count as official state secrets? No, but I'll go easy on you and ask something more specific. Have you ever been in love? That is so personal. I told you to be specific. Very well. I've never been in love. But I'd like to be someday. If it's even half of what all the stories say it is, I'm sure it's wonderful. You're suddenly struck by the memory of Devin smiling at you in the cafe, asking if there's anyone special. Then I hope you find someone worthwhile someday. Maybe we both will. So, you've never been in love either? She studies her reflection and in the fountain for a long moment before answering. I'm not sure. For most of my life, I've been too busy focusing on school or helping my mom. Just like I've been too busy with royal lessons, courtly events, and my father's itineraries. It's strange. Even though we grew up on an ocean apart, you remind me more of me than anyone else I've ever met. Ditto. What are the odds? Somehow I feel like 1 in a million wouldn't begin to cover it. You grin at each other, your smiles mirrored in the water of the fountain, until you find yourself suddenly stifling a yawn. As much as I'd love to keep swapping stories, though, we shouldn't stay here all day. I guess time flies when you're hanging out with your body double. I'm very grateful that out of all the people in the world who could look like me, it ended up being you. Me too. You get up and she suddenly pulls you into a hug. You smile and hug her back just tightly. Say hi to Faye for me, okay? And you say hello to Abilene if you ever need anything. I'm just a call or text away. How could I forget when you have my phone? You both glance out the room's windows, making sure the coast is clear before Daisy opens the door. Good luck, Rose. Good luck to both of us. You head through the city streets, back towards the palace. Abilene's never gonna believe what we pulled off at the cafe. I bet you Cecil was there. I bet you. I just can't wait for when someone bumps right into you. Oof. Watch where you... Oh, it's you. Yep, the usual me. So nice of you to see you again after our recent encounters. She wrinkles her nose and looks you up and down like you're a piece of gum that she accidentally stepped on. Congrats on pulling off the most basic of parties before the campus does the merciful thing and shuts you down. You mean the party half of the campus is still raving about? Yes, it was nice for you to have one last hurrah before you're shut down, but honestly, the school is doing you a favor. Everyone knows a dead-end sorority like the Doltas could never handle the level of social events that proper sororities host. Maybe you haven't heard, we're about to throw the biggest car wash fundraiser Juilliard's ever seen. Oh, please, I meant an actual social event, not some pathetic Girl Scout stunt. Stephanie? The only pathetic thing I see around here is you. Name the time, place, and I promise we'll ace any event you can think of. Well, then forget your boring car wash. Host a high tea fundraiser, and we'll see what your doltas are really made of. Spoiler, but the answer is still sad nerd trash. Oh, I hate people that say sad. Like, you're sad. You're so sad. It's sad. It's just a thing. You're, Stephanie just dared you, not really, to make a big change of plans. Can Rose get the Deltas with a fundraiser that's so far out of their league? Is it? She's literally a princess. I'm just saying, she's literally a princess. Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description below, links to social media, Discord, and if you'd like to support me and my content. And, yeah, that's about it. Check out the other videos on the channel, and, you know what to do. And, yeah, peace out.